get a little bit worried about civil rights violations in the upcoming presidential cycle. I saw a thing earlier from I think it might have been Brad Takei posted it. Of course, I've watched both George and Brad Takei. They're both funny as shit. And I think one of the questions he had on his Facebook post was, if you could be 100% straight, would you? And the honest answer to that is just no. I don't call myself straight. I'm not really heterosexual. I'm not attracted to guys, which is an odd dichotomy because I have a boyfriend. We just don't fuck, you know. I am not. See, it's hard to even say that I'm not sexually attracted to males because I've seen guys that are like, wow, that dude is ripped. I can see somebody wanting to bang the shit out of that. Yeah. You know, there are several guys that are, you know, perfectly attractive. None of that really, really matters. Sexually, I identify as me. Problem with me is that there are a lot of easy definitions for me. Some of them, the simpler the better. I'm a nihilistic hedonist, in the sense that in nihilism, none of it matters. All of it's going to end. Hedonism, in the sense that enjoy it while you're here. And, you know, don't let your enjoyment cause harm to others. Unless that's your thing, or their thing, and make sure you match up well. That's not a heterosexual relationship. And that's the thing, is hetero relationships have been defined as hetero, having one of two normal sex drives. That's not me. It's just not. So I'm not 100% straight, nor would I fucking want to be. I like the idea of being able to see beauty physically in everything around me. I like at the same time to be able to look over and say, that's too far. I guess you could almost say my lack of interest in defining that gives me a better position to be judgmental from. I don't like people that our president-elect surrounds himself with. They are dangerous to the rights of others because they believe their morality should trump what everyone else wants. And in the end, that's what this is going to come down to, a morality issue. A conversation about whether or not it's right for someone to be able to do the things they enjoy doing. Whether or not we have the choice, or whether or not we have the right to tell them yes or no, that they're not allowed to make that choice. I think no. We don't have the right to force people to do things. Some things. Like, can we force people to not murder children? Yeah, and we should. Should we make rules to keep people from doing harm to each other? Yeah, I mean, there should be quite a few common sense rules. That's all the 10 Commandments were. And they were basic common sense rules with some religious, dogma tossed in for good measure. I mean, come on. Thou shalt not kill. Probably not a good idea to murder other humans. We need them. Thou shalt not steal. Probably not a good idea to go taking somebody else's stuff. They want it. They're not going to be happy if you go and try and take it away. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. Well, no, because if he thinks you're trying to steal his shit, he's going to fucking get pissed. It's a lot of the old rules are common sense rules. But they got a lot of dogma mixed into them because you want people to obey the rules. I mean, you want people to follow them, but you don't want them to just follow them. You want people to obey. And that's a problem for humans. It's why it's so hard for us to follow the fucking rules. Is because we see something that's a rule, a law, and you're not supposed to break the law. You are supposed to follow the law, period. You're not... It's against the rules to break the law. Punishments, consequences. Can't do that. We don't, as a species, like being forced to do things. A little quirk of our nature. It's one of the things we do most frequently to each other. I mean, it's probably a good thing that's ingrained in there. Humans as a species are kind of assholes. There's a lot of dichotomy to them. They make a lot of unrealistic demands that they have no intentions of keeping themselves. You know, don't put others in bondage. And then they'll go and put others in bondage. We have problems as a species just frankly being fucking nice to each other. It's like we see right and wrong, but we just don't give a shit. Especially if it's benefiting us to do what's wrong. You know, if the right thing isn't profitable, then it's not as interesting to people if they don't benefit from it. And that's my worry, is that, frankly, the majority, history has told us again and again, the majority is more willing to overlook transgressions against the minority for a really long fucking time, until it is almost literally too late to do anything about it. I mean, I've watched over the last couple of years the shit that Mike Pence has done in Indiana to help, you know, eliminate the gay threat and agenda. The guy is a homophobe in the worst kind of way. And the worst kind of way, by the way, is the religious kind of way, because it brooks no deviation. The way of faith does not allow you to question. You have to believe. You have to have faith. I don't have faith in anything with me. And even that gets shaken sometimes because I'm kind of a dick. And I do make errors. you know, happens. I've lost faith in me a couple times. I've gained it back too. I've done shit that made me question how badass I can really be. Sometimes I've fallen short. Most times not. I've managed to carry myself along pretty fucking well. Could I have done better by praying to God? No. Mike Pence is one of those people that believes that you can just pray someone's gay away. That homosexuality is not only a choice, but an active choice. But there's a part of your body that just thinks that anus feels better than vagina. That's it. That's what he thinks. That it's just a matter of sexual pleasure. That it's not a matter of actual pure fucking attraction. I understand this mentality. I grew up around it. Love, to the older generation, is about procreation. Period. I mean, they're constantly asking what the meaning of fucking life was, while at the same time restricting every fucking thing that made life enjoyable. The meaning of life is to enjoy life. Well, the meaning of life is procreation, actually. All those birds singing, the crickets chirping, all of those romantic sounds are basically the birds begging for somebody. Hey, wanna fuck? Hey, wanna fuck? Hey, wanna fuck? Hey, wanna fuck? That's all it is. That cricket chirping, that is essentially the guy with a man bun playing his fucking guitar under the tree on the fucking campus quad, trying to get some chicks to go back to his house to blow him. It's all it is. Life is about procreation. What people are wondering, the meaning of life, is what are you supposed to do with it while you're here, in between the times where you're not fucking? Or rather, between the times where you are. In those moments where you are not actively engaged in creating new life. Which is what everybody has been trying to assume sex is for. Now, once you get past the part of sex being for procreation, and sex is just for pleasure, oh, well, then it has to be a choice. And that's where I completely diverge from any of my fucking family's mentality on it. Is sex is not just for pleasure. Sex is also as physical connection, which is pleasurable, to be sure. But there have been some awkward, not necessarily uncomfortable, unpleasant moments. In my journey to who I am. Staying the night at my sub's house, who is engaged to my boyfriend. They're actually dating because of me. Spending the night, having her get up to go and make coffee for us, and while she's gone, I got cold. I got lonely, I curled up and wrapped around him. Was it weird? Nah, not really. Did I fuck with him about it a little bit? A little bit. He fucked with me about it a little bit. But there's not a lot he and I can fuck with each other about. We're I'm frankly more open with him than I am even with these videos. Sex is not just about the ejaculation or the orgasm. I mean, that's nice. I mean, that's pleasurable. But why are you doing it? Are you doing it just for you? That's the selfish part. That's the, only about procreation and propagation of the species. Are your intentions to get your partner off? Are you planning on making a child out of this? No, you're not. You just want to get your partner off? See, that to me is emotion. That's connection. That's physical contact. You are trying to do something pleasurable for someone you care about, for someone you have a connection to. It's a thing my parents never seem to really comprehend. My dad certainly. To my dad, being gay is a mistake. It is a choice you make. My mom's beliefs might be a little less on the surface, shallow than that. But she's from that same era. Raised Catholic. I know what sort of stain that kind of shit left on me growing up and how it affected how I view the world around me. So, I know it affected her view. And I've heard her view. I love my mom to death. But I'm a realist. And I know what kind of person she is. And I know what kind of person she's been, for the most part, comfortably married to for the last 47 years almost. Sexuality is something you really have a choice in. I've never believed that it's something you just decide. Worry about our future as a nation. I don't know where Trump is taking us. I don't like the people he has commanding parts of the ship. I don't like the direction he looks like he's headed in.